Following on from basic warm-ups and triplets we were doing between the hands and the feet, I'd like to touch on an exercise that I learned when I spent 4 years in the Royal Marines Band Service, just studying snare drum. This is the age of sort of 16 onwards. And it's kind of given me a really good grounding with rudiments and how to make rudiments interesting into your playing. What I'd like to do to you is one of the lessons I learned when I was in the Royal Marines is, yet again, going back to that weaker side of the body, which is the left-hand side if you're a right-handed player, is the right-hand side if you're a left-handed player, is the left hand. For me, I've always struggled with my left hand. You can see throughout these exercises that I do, I still change grips a lot. I still play matched, I still play traditional. I think it's really important to mess around with different grips. Going back to the left hand, we're gonna just basically keep this exercise on a triplet. Do you remember on the previous exercises we were doing the... It's more along the same lines, but the left hand will have to do a hell of a lot more work. So here we go. So all we want to do is a right, left, triplet exercise. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. Now, what we're not looking at doing, and obviously we're all going to be different abilities, is not being able to go big, heavy right hand. It's not good, basically. So I want to keep it as even as possible. One of the lessons I learned when I was in the Marines, when I studied with a professor of drums, is that if someone's in a room with you and you're going through basic rudiments, yes, we can play paradiddles like and triplets. But we want to get away from those accents, and if someone's in the room and you're playing a rudiment, is for them not to know how you're sticking it. It goes back to stick control, basic stick control, and how to keep your hands under control, basically. So we're looking at a triplet. We don't want... We want this. Now, I've always found with rudiments, playing rudiments-wise, practicing can get really boring, and nobody really wants to go back to rudiments and basic rudiments. So what I kind of devised is some basic rudimental exercises around the kit that can be used in various different ways, whether it be as drum fills, as warm-ups, as grooves. So we're going to really concentrate on this triplet. And what we're going to do is, because after a while, and you'll find your left hand will start to ache, obviously playing this, because your body's not used to doing this sort of thing. So this is all we're going to do. We're just going to do this. Now, right hand, we're counting fours. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. On beat 3, we're going to bring the right hand over to the snare drum. So this is what we get. Once you're comfortable with those two hands, then we can bring the bass drum into the equation, so we can start making some groove out of just a simple triplet rudiment. This is what you can come up with. So you can create lots of textures, lots of different style grooves, as long as that left hand is staying there. Now, what we want to do is move on, and we're going to put it on the snare drum, because obviously we can do all sorts of different types of grooves. We can experiment and come up with all different sort of things. We're going to play on the snare drum the same exercise. Left hand's going to stay on the snare, it's going to stay absolutely rooted. The right hand's going to go round the toms. Right round, snare, 1, 2, floor. Snare, 1, 2, floor. Remember, we don't want all the notes equal. Once we're comfortable with this, then we can introduce the right and left foot. Back onto that triplet thing. Right hand's going to play beat 1. Obviously the left hand is playing 2 and 3. Now, it goes back to the coordination exercise we were doing earlier. On the first left hand, we're going to put the right foot. So this is the first 2 beats. 1, 2. So 2 being the left hand and the right foot, which is kind of hard because basically you're at crosses. Third beat, we're going to play left hand, obviously because we've got this. Third beat, left hand and left foot. Once again, hi-hat, double bass drum, left slave bass drum, or in between. So this is what we got. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, we're thinking about the triplet between hands and feet. Da, 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 da. We're thinking about no accents whatsoever. We don't want that clumpy right hand. And we're also thinking about going around the kit. So this is what we get. You'll know if it's wrong as well, because you'll get this sort of thing. We want a really even triplet. That's it. So we don't want big right hands, keeping it all under control. Play around with your grips, make sure you're comfortable. Feet. We don't want that. We want